What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the JoJo Sports Talk Show. And as always, I'm your host, Jordan Louis, and my co-host, Justin Mason. How you doing?
Up.
How you doing, boss?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, man. Just another day, another dollar, right?
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, man. So we have a packed schedule, man. Packed podcast today, man.
Way too early NFL preview.
Oh, for sure, man. So you want to add it to the screen, the schedule? All right. So this, why is it covering your face? Weird.
That's all right. So this is last year's standings.
Okay.
So,
Do you like can you like expand that a little bit or?
Oh, nope.
Oh,
That brought it down.
so this was okay. So it's 7-9, 6-10. Okay. All right. So looking at the NFC East, I think that it's gonna be a tie between the Cowboys and the Cowboys because Dak Prescott is back, and I feel like Washington. Or no, Cowboys and Eagles because Eagles got Jalen Hurts. They got a better receiving core with our Alabama native what's his name oh
Jalen
my gosh, huh?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, but the rookie wide receiver.
Oh, Devontae Smith.
There you go. So I think it's gonna be tied with the Cowboys and Eagles. Now, what do you think, man? What do you think?
So I think that I don't think it's going to be like it was last year. It's not going to be the winner goes 7-9. I think it's going to be between the Cowboys and the Giants, and it's all going to depend on does Dak stay healthy, does Ezekiel stay healthy. If those two things happen, then I see the Cowboys win the division. If those two things don't happen, I see the Giants winning the division. But either way, I see one of those two teams winning the division and the other team getting one of the wild card spots.
How many wild card spots are there this year?
From what I understand, there's 3 again.
3 again? Okay.
And the first number 1 seed is the only one who gets a bye.
Got you. Okay. I mean, it seems like every year with the Cowboys, it's always their old line situation, man.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Dak went down with that gruesome ACL. It was an ACL injury, right?
Yeah.
ACL.
Well, I think it was an ankle, actually.
Or ankle, yeah. That ankle was like.
Yeah.
So if he now he has a shoulder injury too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's kind of tweaked his shoulder.
Tweaked his shoulder a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if Washington can get it together this year, like with their O line, I feel like they can get there. But the Eagles, with that division, it's like iffy. It's like really iffy because you got Giants. I mean, they got Daniel Jones, but I mean they got some new pieces like Galladay. They got Barkley back. So I mean they can surprise us too, man.
That's the thing for me is Barkley being back. I mean, you look back at 2 years ago when Barkley was healthy. I mean, the Giants were a force to be reckoned with in the East.
Right.
So I mean, you look at
there you go.
There we go. So you look at that team and you go, if they've got Barkley healthy, if they've got Jones healthy, they're a force to be reckoned with.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree, man. Um, so this is the NFC West, right? The NFC West.
Yeah, NFC West, you got the Seahawks, who won the division last year, the Rams, who were one of the wild cards, Cardinals, and 49ers. That's how it shaped up last
I
year.
mean that 6-10 49ers, Cardinals. What were they 8-8? I see the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals were 8 and 8.
Okay, 500, and then Rams 2-6. This episode is crazy, man, because this division is crazy again this year, man. Because Seahawks, I mean, I feel like the Seahawks are gonna. It's either gonna, I don't know, man, because you get the rookie quarterback in San Francisco, like. But then again, a rookie, you can't really, decide with a rookie because he, still young. So I like the Seahawks taking the division, but Rams are going to be on their ass and or like on their heels. The Cardinals, they're 8-8 last year. I don't know, man. Like I feel like the Seahawks are going to get it because they got Carson at the running back position. They got DK Metcalf. I feel like they can get it this year, the Seahawks. But obviously the teams are going to be on their heels, man. Like the Rams. Who do you like, man? Who do you like?
So I look at Matthew Stafford coming to the Rams. Matthew Stafford was I feel like a piece away in Detroit a lot of the times to taking that next step. And I think him being under Sean McVay, I think him having the weapons that he's going to have around him in LA, I think that LA is going to take this division. And I think the Seahawks are going to take a wild card spot. Now, with the 49ers, I see the 49ers and the Cardinals swapping. I see the Cardinals taking a step back, and I see the 49ers being close to catching the Seahawks, but just barely. I see 3 double-digit win teams in this division, though.
I do see that because no, man, because it's hard to say with these new rosters, man. It's hard to. But I feel like the Seahawks ended. I feel like they got it. I trust Russell Wilson. And we'll see, man. We'll see. It's gonna be a tight race, but
for me, Russell Wilson is the reason that I don't see them winning this division. I mean,
oh really?
I feel like he's taken a step back the last couple of years. And I mean, yes, he has DK Metcalf as a receiver, but I feel like Russell has tried to scramble more as he has progressed as a quarterback. So I see them taking a step back, and I see, like I said, I see the Rams win the division.
That's that's interesting. That's interesting. So with the NFC North, I feel like the Packers are gonna get it because it's gonna be Packers or Vikings because I look at it. Packers ran away with it 13-3. The Bears were 8-8, 500. Vikings were 7-9. Lions with a new coaching staff, head coach, which he's crazy. With his press conferences. But I do feel like the Packers are gonna get this division, man. Looking at it. Lions were 5-11, Vikings were 7-9. Yeah. Packers, in my decision, they're gonna win the division. They're gonna run away with it. That's no question about it.
You know, I agree. I think that Aaron Rodgers has something to prove. I think that he is Super Bowl or bust this year. I think if Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl, and I said this on our last show, I think if he wins the Super Bowl, he's retiring, a la Peyton Manning. And I think if he loses, he's going to a different team. I think the Bears are going to be a double-digit win team this year, and I think the standings are going to stay like they are. I think the Packers are going to win the division. The Bears are going to take that wild card slot, and I think that's going to be the last wild card slot. And I think the Vikings are going to stay, kind of the 7-9 range. And I think the Lions are going to take an even further step back from 5-11 to, probably 3 wins, just because I think Jared Goff is not. I don't think he's ready. I just think it didn't work in LA, and I don't think it's going to work in Detroit. He has way less weapons around him in Detroit than he had in LA. And if he couldn't make it work in LA, he can't make it work in Detroit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know anybody on that team other than him on that roster, man. Yeah, but I do agree. I think I'm gonna say the same with the records. But I see the only teams I see in this division is the Packers and the Vikings because they got a good running back in the Vikings with Dalvin Cook. He's gonna cook up this year. Got Thielen. We got I really don't know none of the other receivers other than Thielen, but because Diggs is in Buffalo now. But their quarterback it's Cousins still, right?
Yeah, still Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. So he's that kind of makes me want to say Packers over Vikings.
I think Kirk Cousins is the difference in 9-8 and 8-9. I think he can lead the Vikings to 9-8 and be over 500 instead of being under 500. But we saw what he was in Washington. He lacked just this much to being that quarterback, and he's always been that. I mean, how many years has he been in Minnesota? He's been in Minnesota 2 or 3 years, and they've always continued just to regress, not progress. So, I mean, I just feel like the Vikings aren't there.
Yeah, I feel like the Packers are going to take away that run with that division for sure.
I think the Packers are going to run away with the conference.
Yeah, they're going to be up there too. Yeah, I do agree with that too. So the NFC South, they got the Saints, Buccaneers, Panthers, and Falcons. Damn, man.
I think it's the Buccaneers.
I think
to lose.
Oh, Buccaneers to where?
I think it's the Buccaneers to lose. I mean, they're either going to be way up there and they're going to run away with it, or they're going to be way. I mean, I don't see the Saints being what they were last year. Looking at this standings from last year, the Saints won the division over the Buccaneers by a game. The Buccaneers got in as a wild card. I don't see the Saints being what they were last year because you don't have Drew Brees. I don't see the Panthers taking a step forward because you got Sam Darnold in his first year. And I don't see the Falcons being over 3 or 4 wins because you lost Julio Jones. You have an aging Matt Ryan. I mean, I see the Buccaneers being the only double-digit win team, and I see them winning it kind of like the Packers won the North last year. I see them winning it by 5 or 6 games.
That's a good take. But I mean, I feel like looking at the Saints from last year, Saints were 1 game up from the Buccaneers. I think it's gonna be the same kind of situation, same standing situation. It's gonna be either gonna be Buccaneers on top or Saints right behind them.
So you have that much faith in Jameis Winston?
I do.
Okay.
But my only issue is Michael Thomas because he's hurt and.
Right. That was another one of my points. Michael Thomas is the only weapon they have.
Yeah. Buccaneers got everyone back, right?
You've got Alvin Kamara, but he's coming out of the backfield.
Right.
So I mean you can't line him up at wide receiver because who's gonna sit at running back? You don't have anybody behind Alvin Kamara.
Right. And I think Buccaneers had all their players back from last year, so
Yeah,
all of them, which is good because I think they all took pay cuts.
yeah.
Okay, AFC East. All right, we got the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets. Well, Jets. Surprising on what they do this year. They might have enough power to get over the Patriots because they got the new rookie quarterback. I kind of have faith because he has a good arm, good mobile quarterback from BYU. But I see the Bills winning the division. It's going to be close between the Dolphins and the Bills because Dolphins have Tua Tagovailoa. I'm not going to say Tua. I'm gonna say Tua. So they got Tua. But really they don't. I don't know any other receivers. They got. I don't know any other receivers they got like other than like I don't know anybody on that roster other than Tua and like.
Yeah.
But the Bills are gonna probably get the division in the AFC. What is the AFC South?
AFC West.
AFC West.
AFC East.
Oh, AFC East. Yeah.
You're probably have to pop that back up. I changed it to the. There we go.
Oh, yeah. I was like, where's the schedule? Where's the thing go?
I changed it to the ESPN one because it shows the wild cards.
Over the wild cards. Okay.
So I agree. I think the Bills are going to run away with it.
Okay.
But I think the Dolphins are going to take a step back. I think they might be 8-9, 7-10. I think the Patriots are going to take a step forward if they start Mac Jones. I don't think Cam is, and I said this on a show we were on earlier, I don't think Cam is the Cam of a few years ago. I don't think he has his legs. I don't think he has his arm. I don't think he has the help required to make it through a 17-game season. So give Mac Jones the ball, and you can be a 10-win team. Give Cam the ball, you'll be a 7-8-win team. And with the Jets, I think they might make 4 or 5 wins, but I just don't see anything special in Zach Wilson. And it's not so much Zach Wilson, it's the Jets. I mean, I think the Jets are going to be what they've always been.
Well, actually, they got that new coach, Salo. So, I mean, different coaching culture. I mean, he was on the Niners staff. I mean, but like you said, I mean, we'll see how they gel. I mean, I do agree that so they were 7-9, the Patriots. I mean, I feel like they can improve with. I mean, Cam Newton, just like Jonathan said on the other podcast. I feel like Cam has a different mentality. He's looking great on Instagram, body looking right, in shape. But he's getting up there with age. And I feel like, this is his year to prove it's either break or bust for Cam Newton because he is this is his year to prove it. But if not, then we're gonna be all looking on ESPN, First Take, Undisputed, and they're gonna be talking about Cam Newton is, not as good. So, but I feel like if they put in Mac Jones, I feel like they can do something with it. But it's hard to say because he's a rookie. I haven't really seen him. I mean, I've seen him at Alabama, what he done at Alabama, but it's hard to tell like a rookie quarterback can take that step and push the team. But I believe that, like I said on another podcast, that they got a good, good, well-respected coach in Bill Belichick. You got what's his name, Josh Daniels, as the coordinator. So I mean, I feel like they're in good hands. I mean, we'll see. But the Miami, Buffalo's going to be up there, man, for sure.
Oh yeah, I think people look at Mac Jones and they say he's an Alabama quarterback. What have Alabama quarterbacks done in the NFL? I mean, you have Greg McElroy who came in and had a good 1 or 2 years. You got AJ McCarron who's floating around as a backup somewhere. You've got, Tua who didn't do too hot last year. You got Jalen who's going to be the starter in Philadelphia. So people look down on Alabama quarterbacks, but I think Mac Jones can be the one to break that trend. And I think Bill Belichick thinks that Mac Jones can be the one to break that trend, or he wouldn't have picked him as high as he did.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because like they were debating on like draft night if like what like where they gonna go, where they gonna go. Mac Jones, like is he gonna go to the Patriots, like because he was waiting to be drafted, but I mean he has a good arm, man. He has a good arm, but and yeah, I think, but we all can agree that Buffalo's gonna run away with that division. But like I said, like these teams are young and hungry, so.
Yeah.
Um,
So looking at the AFC North, I know this is the one that you're dying to talk about. So 3 of the 4 teams in the AFC North made the playoffs last year. The Steelers won the division. The Ravens and the Browns made it as a wild card team. I don't see that happening this year, but who do you pick to win the AFC North?
well, Justin, you already know my answer, man. Baltimore Ravens, man.
Okay.
Big trust. So let me, since I'm a Ravens fan, I mean, I don't want to be biased, but I mean, looking at the division, we got an old quarter. Well, okay, not taking any talent off Ben Roethlisberger, but I mean, we got an old quarterback coming off of an elbow injury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the hell they wanted that division because I mean, like our division other than us and then the Browns, we were kind of soft, like, and they lost to the Redskins, man.
Well, I mean, just look at the division. I mean, Pittsburgh won it at 12-4 last year, and Baltimore and Cleveland were both 11-5 last year. So, I mean, that just tells you what the division was last year.
Right. But then again, they got that they traded for Dwayne Haskins, so and then they got Najee Harris from Alabama. So I mean that's a good pickup too. So and then they got Schuster, Juice Smith-Schuster. But I see Baltimore. I see it flipped. I see Baltimore at 1. Oh, I mean, and they got Claypool. I forgot they got Claypool too. So I see Baltimore at 1, taking the division. It's either, I mean, if Burrows recovered from that injury from last year, I mean, it could be him, but he don't really have enough. I mean, he got Tyler Boyd, he got AJ Green still, but they're kind of AJ Green's kind of not washed up, but he's kind of like hasn't really gotten targeted a lot in the past couple of years. But I see it a 3-way kind of thing. So I got Baltimore at number 1, taking the division. I got a tie for second with Browns and Steelers. I feel like the Browns are going to edge the Steelers because they got, I mean, look at it. They got the good roster on paper, Chubb. They got Myles Garrett. They got Odell Beckham. They got Landry. They got Kareem Hunt. So, I mean, I feel like they can it's going to be Browns. I hate to say it because Browns are – as a Baltimore Ravens fan, a true diehard, I hate talking about the Browns doing good because they've always been bad. They've always gone through quarterbacks. They had Baker Mayfield. They had freaking Josh McCown, trash. They had Colt McCoy, trash. Who else? Like every year there's a different quarterback. But they have a good head coach. And I feel like, I hate to say it, but I feel like they're going to be number 2 behind Baltimore. And then, I mean, I could be wrong about the Bengals, man, but don't get me wrong. Like Burrows is good. He was tearing it up in the first couple of games, but he got hurt. And with that injury, you're not the same,
Mm-hmm. So I look at it. I'm looking down at the AFC South, and I'm looking at how the Titans and the Colts tied in that division. And I think that's what the Ravens and the Browns are going to do this year. I think the Ravens and the Browns are going to tie. And I think it's going to be, when you get a tie like that, it's who led in the division. So as you can see, the Titans were 5-1 in the division. The Colts were 4-2 in the division. So I'm saying both teams are going to be tied at the end of the year like they were last year. They were tied 11-5 last year. I think the Steelers take a major step back I don't think they're a double-digit win team this year.
Mm.
And I think the Bengals kind of hover around where they are now, where they were last year. I think they're going to be a 4 or 5 win team again this year. I think that Burrow's injury is going to set him back a little bit, and it's going to be like this year is going to be like his rookie year. And I feel like they've got an okay running game. The Bengals do. They've got an okay, okay receivers. They don't really have an offensive line, and that's what got Burrow hurt last year. So, yeah, I think the Ravens and the Browns both make the playoffs, but it's just going to depend on who does better in the division.
I mean, I'm looking at their schedule right now, the Brown schedule, and not looking too shabby for them. So right now they got KC first game week 1. They got Houston Texans week 2. They got Chicago in week 3. They got the Vikings in week 4. They got LA in week 5. Cardinals in week 6. So I kind of see like
they can go 4-2 in that stretch.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna get dubbed in Denver in week 7. Steelers, that's gonna be a tough one in week 8. They got 2 back-to-back conference games in Steelers and Bengals.
I think whoever wins that first head-to-head matchup between the Bengals and the Ravens, I think that team is who's going to win the division.
We'll set the tone.
Yeah. Because I think they play each other to end the season, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Let me check my schedule on the Ravens app. Let me see. Because I know we got Raiders first up, then we got the KC, so that could be. I mean, I want to say we're going to be 2-0, but Raiders. I mean, I don't know. We might go 1-2 because Raiders are looking kind of. They got Derek Carr, they got Josh Jacobs, they got Darren Waller, in that new stadium. I was in Vegas. It's super nice. But
well, and I feel like, and we'll touch on them here in a few minutes, but I feel like the Raiders. Not only does Derek Carr have something to prove, but John Gruden has something to prove. Sure. I mean, you brought John Gruden back on a 10-year deal to coach this team as you move them to Las Vegas. And he looked at you and said, look, Derek Carr's my quarterback. So not only does John Gruden have to prove that Derek Carr is who he said he could be, but Derek Carr has to prove that John Gruden was correct in saying that. So
That's true. So our schedule, we have the Raiders week 1. We have the Chiefs week 2. So 2 back-to-back national televised games. Then we got the Lions after that. So that should be an easy game.
Oh yeah.
The Ravens were at Lions. Ravens at Broncos. That should be another dub. Colts at the Ravens. Chargers at the Ravens. Bengals at the Ravens. We have a week 8 bye. I mean, at the Vikings after that, the Miami, Chicago. So we kind of have I would say easy schedule, like winning in the middle of the season. But we ended off with the Steelers actually.
Yeah.
But we played the Browns week 14, and then on December 12th, and then we play the Browns. We played the Cleveland November 28th, the first game. We play them on the 12th of December.
Okay. So pretty
then we got Green Bay. I'm not gonna say they're cakewalk games, but I feel like everyone hated or doubted the Ravens when they went before that season when they went 14-2.
Mm-hmm.
We ran away with it. But Lamar, we got some weapons. We got Bateman coming out. I mean, he's hurt, coming back from a groin surgery. Well, he should be back by the week 1, week 2. We beat up our own line. We got Ziegler. We got Stanley back. I mean, so people are the only issue with Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, is can Lamar throw? Can Lamar throw the deep ball? And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he can't throw the deep ball. But I'll tell you that last year we didn't have the receiver core to do that. But this year we got Watkins, we got Bateman, we got Hollywood, and Miles Boykins. We got Porche, Dumerville. We'll see, man.
I think the only thing stopping the Ravens is the division they're in. I mean, you've got the Steelers twice, you've got the Browns twice, and as bad as the Bengals' offense is, their defense is fairly decent. So I mean, you've got 6 games where you're facing off against pretty tough defenses. So I mean, that's the Ravens' downfall is the division they're in.
Right, right. Yeah. Like yeah, like you're right for sure. Like and like Ravens, we've always been known for our defense.
Hmm.
Ray Lewis and even
Yep.
every win on Sports Center the other week was like Baltimore, Lamar, they can get it this year. And um, what he said was that it doesn't really fall all on Lamar. It's the receivers that
Hmm.
have to catch the ball. It has to be a team organization, top to bottom, organizational effort on all sides. And I told you like last year we had like Lamar. He was on a podcast and he was like he doesn't care about the playoffs right now. He cares about week one. He's a very humble quarterback, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I know I'm sounding really freaking biased right now because I'm a Ravens fan,
Well,
but
because you are.
I am like you can tell I'm a true freaking fan, man. Like I'm a win or lose. I'm a Ravens fan at the end of the day, man, and I have to have faith. You're lucky that we're not playing this year, man, in the regular season. Us
We
the
will in the
Titans.
playoffs. We will in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Titans, man, we got the AFC South. Uh, Tennessee was 11-5. Indianapolis was 11-5. Houston was 4-12. And damn, Jackson was 1-15. Sheesh. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I personally see it being the same as it was last year. I see the Titans winning it. I see the Colts taking a step back, though. I think Carson Wentz, he's a good quarterback, but he's not a great quarterback. I think what Phillip Rivers did last year was just proof of what kind of quarterback Phillip Rivers is, and Carson Wentz is not at that level. I think they take a step back, but they still stay in second place. I think that the Texans stay around where they are just because of all this drama around Deshaun Watson.
Mm.
I mean, everything with him is still ongoing. There's new reports every single day. There's a new woman coming out saying that he sexually assaulted her every single day. So I see them hovering around the 3 or 4 win mark, and I see the Jaguars, probably being a 3 or 4 win team themselves, just because you've got Urban Meyer, who, yes, he's a good college coach,
3
but
or 4 wins. Jesus Christ, man.
I don't think he can win in the NFL. I mean, as good as Nick Saban is in college, he couldn't win in the NFL. And then you combine that with all the drama that's been around them in the offseason, the Tim Tebow stuff. They've got a rookie quarterback. Gardner Minshew is coming out saying that he should start over Trevor Lawrence. So he's getting in Trevor Lawrence's head. All of this drama, they don't have a good running game. All of this drama, I think, is going to keep them at the bottom of that division. So I said all that to say I see the Titans winning this division.
Okay. So you're kind of biased too, just like me. I like. Well, you have to be because you're a fan.
Well, not only that, but I'm looking at the facts. The Titans are the only team coming in with the experience together and with no drama. I mean, This team has been together for the last 3 years. This team has went to the playoffs for the last 3 years. And they're the only team that didn't have as much turnover as all 3 other teams in their division had. So, I mean, I could be wrong. They could prove me wrong and tank and Derrick Henry break his leg and, be out for the season. But if everybody stays healthy, the Titans are going to run away with this.
Yeah. You have a good point. You make a good point because the Tennessee Titans are like the Buccaneers. Like they had their roster back, including adding Julio Jones to to the mix, but he's injury prone. Like that's why we were gonna get him too, but that's one of the reasons why we didn't get him because he's.
I mean, we lost Jonnu Smith, who was one of our tight ends. We lost him to the Patriots, but
Didn't y'all lose Corey Davis or
yeah, we lost Corey Davis also. Yeah, but I mean, Julio Jones makes up 2 Corey Davises. No offense to Corey Davis, but I mean, Julio Jones and AJ Brown, you're golden at the receiver position.
I found that funny that Corey Davis is not on the roster because, like, wasn't he the one that kind of recruited him onto the team?
Yeah.
He made the Instagram post like, "Oh, come here, come on, Julio." Yeah. He made that hype video. No, he's not there no more. But yeah, I agree. I feel like I don't see like with Carson Wentz even. I mean, believe me, I believe that depending on if Carson Wentz recovers from that toe injury, I see them being a 5-win team this year. Like, because who knows who the quarterback's going to be, man? Because Carson Wentz, like, who is their backup? Like, 20%, whatever his name is, or
yeah. I mean, Nick Foles came out and said, hey, trade for me, because he knows he's not going to get any playing time with the Bears. But I mean, they have Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback, and if they liked Jacoby Brissett, they wouldn't have went and gone and went and got Carson Wentz.
Right.
So
I mean, I feel like Indy. I think they got T.Y. Hilton, right, for the receiver.
Yeah, if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, right. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like Colts can get more wins than the Jaguars. Or no, I'm sorry, Jaguars will get more wins than the Indianapolis Colts, and being on the quarterback situation. But who knows? Who knows, man? Because like, and I see them getting more wins over Houston too. Because with the quarterback situation, they have no receivers, man. They got Watts out. He's the Cardinals. Like, they don't got no defense. They got Mark Ingram. I mean, he's nice, but for their running back. But
yeah, but he's their 3rd string running back.
Oh shoot! I thought he was going to be a starter.
No, he's their 3rd string. He's listed as their 3rd string running back right now.
Oh crap! Yeah, I mean that's a good question. Like, will Deshaun Watson start week 1? I don't know.
Think he will.
So to be honest with you, man, I think that with that division, obviously I think Titans going to win it, but I feel like Jacksonville, because I mean, even in Trevor Lawrence, good quarterback, rookie quarterback. I feel like with all the problems they got in that division, I think that Jaguars will be up there with the Titans, man. But depending on their schedule, I don't know the Jaguars' schedule too, so I'm not sure.
I don't either, but I mean, I see the Titans as a double-digit win team, and I
don't for sure.
I don't see any other team being that. I don't see any other team, breaking 6 or 7 wins in that division.
Right, but the Jaguars they're 1-15 last year, but they got a new quarterback, so
yeah.
We'll see with that. So last division is the West. Obviously, I have KC taking it. And then I had the Chargers right behind them. Then the Raiders right behind them. But then Broncos last. So I have them switched.
We're in agreement on that. I have the Chiefs winning it. It's not going to be, as much of a spread as it was last year. Right. The Chiefs won 14 games, and then the Raiders, who were right behind them, won 8. I think the Chargers and Justin Herbert take a huge step forward, and I think the Chargers are the the 3rd wild card team in the AFC. So I agree with you as far as the standings go. I think it's going to be Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos. I mean, we all know last year they didn't have no quarterback last year, boy. And I mean, they have Drew Lock. I mean, we all said on the other podcast that he was garbage.
Yeah,
he had his chance to prove himself, and he didn't. So, but they do have some good receiver corps. They got Jerry Jeudy from Alabama. I mean, they got who's that linebacker they got a couple years ago? Chubb.
Yeah.
And then we got Philip Lindsay. So, I mean, they got a good, like I said, they got a good foundation of players, but they need to have someone to throw the ball to. I mean, personally, I'd rather have like Joe Flacco as their quarterback because he got that cannon, man.
Yeah,
But he's on the. I think he's on the Eagles this year. So.
I believe so. Yeah.
But I mean, he can throw the ball, man. Like he can throw it. He can sling that shit.
All right. So now we're looking at the division standings. This is the division standings for last year. So based on your picks for this year, who do you see being in the AFC Championship, and who do you see being in the NFC Championship based on your picks for this year?
But we all want to see that AFC division game, Ravens and Chiefs. We always want to see that. So, I want to see that Ravens and Chiefs matchup in the AFC. And then can you scroll down a little bit to the national football, the national NFC a little bit. So I see in the NFC, I see the Green Bay and New Orleans. No, actually, you know what? Green Bay. I'm like last year. I'm gonna be like Green Bay and Tampa Bay.
Okay. So who do you see the Super Bowl? I'll go with mine first. I see the Chiefs and the Bills in the AFC, and I see the Bucks and the Packers in the NFC. Now, as far as the Super Bowl, I've said it multiple times. I see Aaron Rodgers having something to prove. And so I see him beating the Bucks and going to the Super Bowl. And I see the Chiefs beating the Bills just barely. And it being a Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl.
Packers-Chiefs. I see my Ravens against the Packers, man. Or Ravens and the Bucks. And with that game, I don't know who's going to win that because, Mahomes, he's mobile. Lamar is a more faster quarterback when it comes to running. And I think that, like, Mahomes, he was trying to run in the Super Bowl last year, but the defense was on his heels. But I feel like Lamar, I think it's going to be Lamar or Ravens and Packers or Ravens and Buccaneers, man.
So who do you see winning out of those potential matchups?
So I'm gonna go with their position first. Like you said, like the Chiefs and the Packers, right?
Yeah. So I've said all along when Aaron Rodgers held out, he has something to prove. He has something to prove to himself. He has something to prove to the Packers. And he has something to prove to the league. Because I see one of two things happening. If he wins the Super Bowl, he's going to retire, a la Peyton Manning. He's going to retire on top. We all know that this is Jordan Love's team next year. So if you're going to win in a Packers uniform, retire in a Packers uniform. If you're going to lose in a Packers uniform, he's going to be going to either San Francisco or Houston next year. So that's why I say he's got something to prove to himself, to the Packers, and to the NFL. Because if he loses in the Super Bowl this year or doesn't make it to the Super Bowl this year, he's auditioning for another team. Because he's not going to go out a loser.
I definitely agree with you on that. But the reason why I'm sticking with my Ravens because I want Lamar to get that Patrick Mahomes close deal. And even me being a fan of the Ravens and Lamar, I feel like Lamar has to prove to me that he can get past the AFC or the wild card game, what he did this year. But to the divisional, he fell through with the Bills, man. But even if he needs to prove to me he can get past the divisional round.
Even if he wins the Super Bowl, I don't see him getting a Patrick Mahomes type deal.
You don't
I think I said that on our last show, but I don't. Don't get me wrong, Lamar is a good player, but I don't think he's at Patrick Mahomes' level. I don't think if we redrafted the entire NFL that you could build a team around Lamar like you can build a team around Patrick. Because I think if you gave all 32 teams a chance to have the number one pick, that number one pick is going to be Patrick Mahomes for 30 of the 32 teams.
I mean, I think to be fair, I think it'd be a team around both quarterbacks because, I mean, shit, give me Tyreek Hill, man. It was Lamar Jackson. Give me that. Like, give me a healthy Michael Thomas on my team, a healthy Julio. Give me a healthy freaking Kareem Hunt or a healthy running back. I mean, we have Dobbins, but I think we can bid around both quarterbacks, man, because they're both transcendent of the league, man. They're both, it's kind of like that Peyton and Peyton Eli. They're both, not mobile quarterbacks, but you can build around them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the new like young quarterback duo.
Yeah, but I think Patrick Mahomes is Peyton, and I think Lamar Jackson is Eli. That's how I see it. I think that Peyton and Patrick Mahomes both, you could build a team of whoever you want to around them, and Peyton Manning and Patrick Mahomes are going to make that team better.
You don't think Lamar doesn't make the Ravens better, man? Because with Joe Flacco, like we were good, but like Lamar,
I think he makes the Ravens better, but I don't think he makes the Ravens better like Patrick Mahomes makes the Chiefs better. Because I think you take Patrick Mahomes off the Chiefs, and instead of being 12-4, they're 4-12. I think if you take Lamar Jackson off of the Ravens, I think instead of being 12-4, I think they're maybe 9-7, 10-6. There's not that much of a differential between wins and losses when you take Lamar Jackson off a team as opposed to when you take Patrick Mahomes off a team. Because look at what they were, look at what the Chiefs were before Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like to be fair, 50-50, like we can. I feel like if I'm the GM or whatever, if you're a GM of, I feel like we can build around like both teams, man. I feel like to be fair, like, I mean, but I feel like Mahomes went to the Super Bowl. Lamar had so let me ask you this: so like, what would it take for Lamar to get past that right now? Because like right now, like we're before the season, like still early, new schedule, new teams, like new players on the roster. So what do you feel like it has to take for Lamar to get past to that level?
I think Lamar has to have a Patrick Mahomes type season. I mean,
you don't think he had that 14-2 season?
No, I don't.
Because Lamar, he freaking beat the Seattle, man. Seattle, everyone said they're going to lose to Seattle with Russell Wilson. We spanked them. We spanked the freaking Tom Brady Patriots, man. We spanked San Francisco 49ers, man, and the Rams.
Yeah, but I look at it this way: the Seahawks and Russell Wilson, the last 2 or 3 years have taken a step back. So I don't see that as a good comparison. Nothing against what the Ravens did against them, but I don't see that as a good comparison because this isn't the Seahawks team of 4 or 5 years ago. You don't have that defense that they had 4 or 5 years ago. You don't have that running game they had 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, the only weapon that Russell Wilson has is DK Metcalf. So for me, I think that Lamar Jackson has to take that step forward and be consistent with that. Not necessarily win, 15, 16 games instead of 14 games, but get to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, and do what Patrick Mahomes has done. Get there consistently. Patrick Mahomes has gotten there the last 3 years.
But you can look. like you say that too, but like look at the roster he has around him, man. He has Kelsey, he has Tyree. It's not just all about Mahomes, man.
No,
I mean, like I'm saying, give me the same assets as the Chiefs have, and put them on the Ravens, and it will be a wrap. Imagine Tyreek Hill and Lamar. We would be doing wildcat option plays down the field, man.
and I agree with that, but I go back to my earlier point. If you take Patrick Mahomes off the Chiefs, they're 4-12 instead of 12-4. You take Lamar off the Ravens, they're 10-6 instead of 12-4. So I mean, it's that leadership. Lamar has to find his voice, like Patrick has found. Patrick knows, look, this is my team. They took an established starter, shipped him off somewhere else, and said, here's the keys. Here's the keys of this Lamborghini. You go drive it however you want to. It's yours. I don't think Lamar Jackson has taken responsibility of the Ravens like Patrick Mahomes has taken responsibility of the Chiefs. And I think that's the next step that he needs to take.
Right. I can agree with that, but who knows? Like behind the scenes, I know that man Lamar's humble, man. I know he's hungry, man, because he's hearing it. He's hearing all the freaking critics, man. Oh, they can't win this. They can't do that. They can't win this game. They can't get stuff. He's hearing all these voices, man. But I feel like, behind the scenes, like in the locker room at training camp, I've heard so far when he's gotten back from COVID, because he has had COVID like twice now. Middle of the season last year, and then at the training camp this year. But not saying that. I mean, actually, that couldn't be an excuse, because that whoever can take that toll on your body or after recover from COVID, that can be an issue. Like we'll see with the season, but Lamar, when you listen to him like in the interviews, like he's never like looking past a game. Like he always looks for that game ahead, focus on that game right there and then and there. Doesn't look far out to the future of the season. Like he's humble on one game. Let's focus on week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and get there, man. But
humble doesn't put wins on your record.
But that's what separates him from a lot of other quarterbacks. Him and Mahomes, man. And Kyler Murray, he's up there too, but he's
do it in the playoffs. And I can say the same thing about the Titans. Do it in the playoffs. The Titans have struggled in the playoffs. I think this might be Tannehill's last year if he cannot get something going in the playoffs. You can win the division all you want to, but you have to win in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm looking for Lamar to do, and that's what I'm looking for Ryan Tannehill and the Titans to do.
Right. Well, this week, Lamar and Tannehill is, like you said, Tannehill is like I guess you could say he's on his last straw, I guess, or maybe at the Tennessee. Lamar, he's still young, man, so I feel like he wants to stay a Raven. But then again, it comes back to my other point. You can't really blame it all on Lamar. It's a GM getting players, getting drafting well, which we kind of did this year. Getting Harbaugh, which off the coordinator, defensive. It's all down. At the end of the day, it's a quarterback. That's his team. But it's like the NBA, man. Yes, but the NBA is kind of different because the players have to say who they want and when they want them. But it all comes down and look at Andy Reid and the Chiefs, man. It's not just all about Mahomes. It's about behind the scenes, getting players. We got Tyreek Hill, getting all these players, man. And it all comes down to an organization. And Ravens are known to have an outstanding organizational staff with Ozzie Newsome. And now we have Eric DaCosta, kind of, but I mean, he drafted, look at Ozzie, he drafted Ray Lewis, man, at Reed, back in the day, So it's all about, the GMs and the coaches too, when it comes to picking players. But then again, it's all on the quarterback, and I feel like Lamar, like I said, he has to. Like I told you, man, I'm not kind of arguing with you or anything. We put that for points, but I was just saying that Lamar is he has to prove to me that he can get past the divisional round.
Yeah,
and it's hard to see with the season because we haven't started yet. So we can be both wrong. Like Mahomes, not saying it could happen, but he's come off injuries too, man. Mm-hmm. Turf toe. He can have an injury. I'm not wishing like an injury on him or anything. I'm just saying stuff could happen in the season which can derail
Well, and that can happen to anybody.
anybody. Right.
I mean, that's the NFL.
It's an open league when it comes to that.
Yeah. So I want to point out something that I just saw come on SportsCenter. I think you're watching it too. Freddie Freeman hit for the cycle tonight against the Marlins,
I'm watching that too,
which
man.
is pretty impressive as a Braves fan. We're watching him leg out the triple right now.
Wait, so the cycle is you hit a single, double, triple, and then a home run?
Yeah, single, double, triple, home run in the same game. So, pretty impressive, especially for a guy like Freddie Freeman who isn't known to be the fastest. So for him to get a triple, I mean, that's got to be rough on him.
Yeah. But some NBA talk, man.
Yeah.
Let's get it, man. And this will be our last kind of section for the night. Cause it's been midnight over here. It's like 11, 12, so we're good. So I took a picture of the schedule. Well, the Christmas Day schedule, and then so we have the on October 19th, we have the Nets and the Bucks. We got the Warriors and the Lakers at 10 o'clock. And then we got Celtics and Knicks on Wednesday, the 20th at 7:30. Then we got Denver and Phoenix. Thursday, we got the 21st. The day after that, we got Mavs and Hawks. And then the Clippers and Warriors on Thursday. Then we got Nets and Sixers, and then Phoenix and Lakers on Friday. So, man, tell me, Justin, man, like, are you hyped for the season, man?
So I'm not as big on the NBA as you are, but there are some matchups that intrigue me. I want to see how Phoenix bounces back after being up 3-1 in the conference finals and then dropping that to the Bucks, who won the NBA championship, eventually won the NBA championship. So I want to see how Phoenix is going to bounce back. And like I said, when we were on the other show earlier, I'm really interested to see what the Lakers do their first 5 to 10 games. How do they gel? How do they come together? Who takes the ball up the court? Is it Russ? Is it LeBron? Is it Carmelo? Because he's done it before. So do they drop their first 3 or 4 games because they can't gel? Do they go 5-0? Do they go 8-2? So that's what I'm looking forward to, is how are the Lakers going to bounce back from what was a disappointing season last season with LeBron's first round exit out of the playoffs?
And man, can you say that louder for the fans out there, man? Like, what do you just say? Like that last thing you just said?
LeBron's first round loss in the playoffs.
Did y'all hear that, man? Like first ever playoff exit ever in his career, and people are still hating on him, man. I do agree, man. I'm looking forward. As y'all know, I'm a Laker fan. Me and my boy Freddie, Big Freddie. I'm with you, man. Like, cause if they were in their prime, Russell and LeBron, and I think AD's still in his prime. But back in the day, they were all ball dominant players, right?
Yeah.
And Russell, would always want to have the ball in his hands, and LeBron too. But now LeBron's like 36, 37. and he doesn't really need to have the ball in his hands as much. So I feel like with Russell Westbrook coming on board, I feel like with him, he's going to be the number one ball handler on the court. Now the question is Frank Vogel going to have Carmelo come off the bench, or he's going to be a starter? I don't know. I feel like, I mean, ever since Carmelo got traded off the Knicks, he's always been a bench kind of, 6-man type of player. But think about it. Look at it. Like, look at the roster, man. So we got Russell at the 1. The question is who's gonna be at the 2, though? That's a good question. Because Bruce Ellington or Wayne Ellington, he's gonna be at the bench. But having Carmelo at the LeBron even at 3, and then Melo at the 4 and 80 at the 5. But I don't know who's gonna fill that. Maybe Malik Monk, maybe, but he's gonna be a bench player. But I'm excited to see, like you said, like the first game, man, how they gel together, man. Because a couple years ago, Russell was on the team with KD and Harden, and look at how that happened. They split. All ball dominant players in their prime.
Yep.
Both wanted to score. All wanted to score. But I feel like this team is different because they're older. And LeBron is. I feel like LeBron has a different mentality than KD. LeBron's gonna be like, you know what, Russell, this is your job. Play your role. Do your thing. Make us look good. Let's do it, man. So.
Well, and I'm looking at their roster right now, and I just brought it up on the screen. But Russ is the only true point guard that's on the roster right now. All the other guards are 2 guards.
I forgot we got Trevor Ariza. Oh man, we got
So.
Yeah. Never mind. We can have Russ at the 1. THT at the 2. LeBron at
over Malik Monk.
I feel like maybe Malik Monk. Okay, so Russ at the 1, Malik at the 2, LeBron at the 3, Mel at the 4, 80 at the 5.
So I'm looking at what I said just a minute ago is Russ being the only true one.
Oh, and Nunn. I forgot about Nunn too.
I mean, who's going to spell Russ? Because Russ isn't going to be on the court for 48 minutes. So I mean, are you going to have LeBron swap to the 1 to spell Russ?
That's a question. I mean, maybe Nunn can be behind. Can be the 6-man behind Russell when he come up, or that's what I say. Malik Monk could come off the bench. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can even put
Wayne Ellington too.
I was going to say you can put Wayne Ellington there, but does he fit bringing the ball up the court, or is that when you tell LeBron, look, Russ is off the court, take the ball up for us? So that's the only discrepancy that I see, Russ being the only true 1 on the roster.
Yeah, I see that he's definitely the true 1 on the roster. But I know, like everyone else, they're all shooters, man. Like Ariza, he's a corner specialist,
and that's another problem that I see is you have all these shooters who want their points.
And the Saints need to score 34 to win.
Right.
They want to get it done, and I think 2 or 7.
Marcus, Dwight Howard, or Dwight Howard should come off the bench. He's going to be a good second team player. I mean, our roster's looking pretty good, but
there's questions at the 1.
Huh?
There's questions at the 1 for sure.
Yeah. I mean, well, Russell had that spot, I think, locked down. I think for sure.
Oh yeah,
the
but
one spot
I'm saying the who's behind him.
of the second
The
team.
question, yeah.
I mean, what do you think? Do you think the Lakers should start Carmelo or have him off the bench for start off?
They'll start him.
You think so with LeBron?
I mean, who are you going to start ahead of him?
13 championships.
I don't know.
I mean, you could even put AD at the 5.
Yeah, I think Vogel said he's going to be the 5.
So I mean that pulls him out of the power forward slot, and that really puts
He's not a tourist.
Carmelo there.
Trip around the league for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree. So now let me look at the Christmas Day matchups. You got the New York Knicks making it on primetime television for the Christmas Day. We got Knicks facing the Hawks.
Mhm.
We got the Celtics facing the Bucks at 2:30. We got the Suns facing the Warriors at 5:00. We all know that game coming up 8:00. Nets and Lakers, and then we got the end of the night. We got Mavs and Jazz.
Yeah.
So, what game are you looking forward to seeing, man, on Christmas Day? I mean, actually, they're all like blockbuster games, man. They're all like,
Yeah,
Well-
I think the Lakers and the Nets stand out to me, but being a Hawks fan, the Hawks and the Knicks stand out to me. I mean, the Hawks and the Knicks is a potential playoff matchup, but so is the Lakers and the Nets. So those two really stand out to me as far as Christmas Day games.
yeah, like they it's gonna be interesting, man. On Christmas Day, like we said on other podcasts, like LA's gonna be lit,
Mm-hmm.
packed stadium. Hopefully, packed stadium. Different atmosphere, different players.
Yeah.
It's all about Harden and Kyrie and Kevin Durant staying healthy, man, and the Lakers too. But I feel like LeBron, like you said earlier, like a couple minutes ago, like LeBron, like this would probably be the first season where LeBron can just like play his own position, man. He can play the 4 or 5 or 4 or 3. He don't have to be the 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? Because he's getting older.
Right.
And I feel like this would be the first season where he can just play a position ball. But we know with this league, this new league, positionless basketball is a thing now because you have like Giannis bringing the ball up.
Yeah.
You got Jokic bringing the ball up from the Nuggets. Even Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, all these big men bring up the ball. So I think the game of positionless basketball is upon us. There's no set 1, 2. Well, I mean, I guess there still is, but there's no traditional 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 because everyone can play at any position. And I feel like with college ball and NBA ball, it's different because college ball there's set plays,
Mhm.
ISO or 4 or whatever, or high school ball. NBA is all about pick and roll. I think the coaches let the players play. They play like the triangle, the 2-3 zone, man to man. But that whole thing with the positionless basketball, I think it is upon us, and it's been upon us for a couple of years now. But which is great for the league because like that a big man is not known for shooting the 3 ball. You know what I'm saying? Like they will be criticized for shooting the 3 ball, and now it's okay for a big man to shoot the 3. So I feel like with this league, LeBron can finally play either the 3 or the 4 and not play the point guard position. Which, I mean, sometimes he might bring the ball up a couple possessions, but he's not going to have to rely on the pressure of having the ball in his hands a lot because Russell's going to take off that pressure from LeBron.
Yeah.
And AD, I mean, they got some stretch playmakers, man. They got Carmelo, he can stretch the floor with his 3-point shot. He got AD stepping out at the 3-point line, even Marc Gasol on the bench. Like, they got big men who can shoot, too. So, did you catch that Draymond Green KD interview?
Yeah, I saw part of it. Yeah.
And I feel
It was fairly interesting. I mean,
they
you
kept it
always,
real, man.
yeah, you always wonder what goes on behind closed doors when you get players like that together. And we just we got a glimpse of that. You know, we got a glimpse of what goes on behind closed doors with two of the NBA's top stars.
Right.
So you mentioned Ben Simmons earlier, and there's rumors of Philadelphia trying to get rid of Ben Simmons because he's unhappy in Philly. Joel Embiid is unhappy with him being in Philly. So where do you see a good landing spot for Ben Simmons being if he gets traded before the season starts or before the deadline in February?
To be honest, I feel like he would be a good fit in that's a good question because I mean he's a terrific player, man. He can other than his shooting skills, I feel like I can see him going to
I guess the better question is who needs a point guard of his caliber? I mean, he's not a Seth Curry or a Steph Curry top point guard. He's not even a Trae Young top point guard to me.
He needs to go somewhere where maybe he needs to go to a Golden State Warriors team so he can have Steph Curry to show him how to shoot.
Yeah.
Or or in Portland with Damian Lillard.
I think he needs to go somewhere where he can be the 2 instead of the 1.
And just like I said, play this is basketball. He's known that he's listed as a center.
Yep.
But you're saying won't play one of the 2. Like that's crazy, man. Like that's a good point. Like, but I feel like he should go to somewhere where he have a good shooting coach or players around him like Curry or Clay. Oh, I forgot about Klay Thompson. So I feel like going somewhere. I mean, Philly is a big market for sports, but I feel like he should go somewhere somewhere in LA, not Lakers, but like maybe Clippers, maybe, or somewhere where he's gonna get a lot of attention.
I think Golden State is the right destination for him if he winds up getting traded. And speaking of players getting traded, we talked about earlier the Zion Williamson situation.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware of that situation because before Frey told me, I mean, I knew there was a problem when he got drafted there. His parents didn't want him going there, but I didn't know there was an article about that.
Now they're pushing his agent to get him out.
Wow,
his parents are. So I said on the show earlier that we were on together, I said he needs to stay in Philadelphia and just get weapons around him. Get him a Damian Lillard.
Zion or Ben Simmons?
Zion.
You just said Philadelphia, bro.
Did I say Philadelphia? Oh, I meant New Orleans.
Okay. I was like, wait, Ben Simmons or Zion now. Okay, yeah. So yeah, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think with Zion, I think he should just stay in New Orleans, and New Orleans give him somebody like a Damian Lillard, give him somebody like a Bradley Beal. You know, there are all kinds of talks of Miami moving off of Tyler Hero. Get him a Tyler Hero.
I should have said this on the freaking on the other podcast. I seen one Charlotte or to the Knicks, man, to team up with RJ Barrett.
I can see the Knicks.
Yo, imagine Obi Toppin,
Yep.
quickly, Randall,
Yeah.
Taj Gibson, man, like, and Tom Thibodeau as a coach. Like,
I can see
I
that.
didn't think of that earlier on the podcast. Like, Knicks would be, and it's a mecca of sports. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you're going to, but now I heard rumor. I mean, I don't know if there's a report, but one of my friends who lives in New York said they're gonna. I'm not sure if you've been in New York before, but like when you go up to New York Penn Station, there's those steps and MSG's right there. Like right above you. I heard that they're gonna knock down that area and move the stadium over a few blocks over. I don't know if that's a rumor. I'm not sure. Maybe for traffic reasons, or maybe I don't know. But still, MSG, big Mecca stadium, Zion, cameras are all on him. Big star. Team up with his Duke teammate RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
I can see that happening too, man. But Charlotte, that's another one too. And oh shit, there's like Kemba Walker. So I forgot about that trade that happened.
Mm-hmm. So, and this is way too early because we've just gotten out of the summer league. But who do you think? What do you think is the NBA Finals matchup right now? Just seeing the rosters and seeing everybody on paper, what do you think is the finals?
You know my answer. I think you know my answer, man. I think you know, brother.
I want to hear you say it though, because I'm gonna go completely the opposite of you.
All right, man. Lakers and Nets, man.
Okay. I agree with you on the Nets. I do not agree with you on the Lakers. I think it's going to be Bucks and Nets. Or no, I'm sorry, Suns and Nets. Suns and Nets. Yeah. I saw on the standings, I saw the Bucks right under the Nets on the standings.
Oh, shit.
I think it's going to be Suns and Nets. I think the Suns are going to continue what they did this year. I think they're going to be better than what they were this year. And I think it's going to be Suns Nets.
I mean, I feel like Christmas Day is going to be a preview of the finals, man. Christmas Day is going to be a preview of the finals, man. I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. But I think that all right. So speaking of the NBA, let's go to the last year standings, man.
Okay.
So we have time. We have a couple of minutes. We can go through. I have LA in the top 5, top 10 in the Western Conference. I'm not gonna say like number 1 spot because the West is always stacking up teams.
Yeah, I just pulled them up if you want to add them to the stream.
Okay, man. All right, let me see. All right, so we got the Western Conference, our Eastern Conference, Philadelphia 49-23, 48-24, 46. I mean, the Knicks, I mean, 1 through 6, 1 through 6 was crazy, man. 40-32, 41-31.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, just how close it was. I mean, even just looking 4, 5, and 6. I mean, the Knicks and the Hawks were tied, and the Heat were just a game behind them.
Right. Yeah. So I see, or I can. I mean, I want to say Nets. Oh, I might do a Milwaukee Lakers finals. That's another one too.
I just don't, and I know the Lakers have so much star power, but I think that's going to come back and bite them. I think either somebody's going to get injured, like, and I'm not wishing this on anybody, but I think somebody's going to get injured to the point that they don't play in the playoffs, or I think that they're just not going to gel. I mean, think about think about the first year in Miami with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh.
Mm.
They gelled, but they didn't make it to the finals until the second year. So I think it's going to take 2 years for this team to really come together and really be what they can be.
So are you saying like the Lakers won't make the playoffs at all this year?
They'll make the playoffs, but they won't make it to the finals. I mean, they may make it to the conference finals, but I don't see them making it to the NBA finals.
That's interesting. I mean, like it's all about at the end of the day, it's all about staying healthy, staying injury prone, and I feel like that's what it's about, man. Is staying healthy, man. Like throughout the season.
That's the big thing. I mean, you've got an aging LeBron, you've got an aging Russ, you've got an aging Carmelo. I mean, Anthony Davis has always been injury prone, regardless of where he's went, regardless of who he's had around him. Dwight Howard is just drama. I mean, walking drama, especially the last couple of years.
I think Dwight's going to be a good. That was a good pickup because he was on that championship roster, the year before he went to the Sixers, and I feel like he can be a good booster to our team.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he could. If somebody goes down, he could. I mean, he's one dimensional. I mean, he's Shaq. He can only play the 5, which is what you need him to do, honestly. But
it's funny when I see him shooting threes, man. It's funny, man.
But you've got all
he
these
can
other
hit
guys.
some of them, man. He can hit some of them, not consistently.
You've got all these other guys who are so multi-dimensional. LeBron can play anywhere on the court. You've got Russ who really could play 1 or 2. You've got Anthony Davis who could play 3, 4, or 5. I mean, so you've got all these guys who are multidimensional, and then you've got Dwight Howard who is one-dimensional. So it's just going to be interesting to see how these guys gel, but I do not see them making the finals this year.
Also, got to think about their. I mean, we got their like the trade deadline too this year, man. Too, whoever we can pick up. Because I know Lakers are known for getting buyout players, like in the middle of the season. So we'll see about that too. Like,
well, and who are they going to trade away to make room? Because like we said on the last show, they're $27 million.
I would trade away Marc Gasol, man. Marc Gasol, he's like a Dwight Howard, one-dimensional. Like he can get rebounds. He can shoot the 3 too, but we don't really need him, man.
Well, yeah, but I'm looking at who is going to help you get back under the cap. Because you get rid of a Marc Gasol and he's what, 1 million, 2 million against the cap, if that. So, I mean, that still leaves you with 25, 26 million under the cap right now. So, I mean, I think Russ was 44 million. LeBron's 41 million. AD is like 30, 35 million. So you're not going to get rid of one of those 3. So how are you going to get under the cap to be able to get these players at the trade deadline when LeBron says, look, this guy's not working out, but I want that guy right there? How are you going to get him being 27 million under the cap?
That's a good question, man. I don't have the answer to that. Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean,
people were saying, how the hell are we getting all these players? Yeah, a lot of people were saying, how the hell are we getting all these players for free agency? Like, where's the money coming from? But
yeah, I mean, you would have to get LeBron to restructure his deal, which I heard reports that he was talking about doing. I mean, he's making more money in endorsements than he is in his deal. So I mean, you have that. You have Russ who could restructure his deal, which he probably won't. And then AD is probably the most likely to restructure his deal.
That's a very interesting side to the like of the story. Like we have the players and we don't have the money to sign players right now. I mean,
Right.
um, like Frank Vogel and what's his name? The GM
Bus.
Rob
Is it
Pelinka.
still a bus?
Rob Pelinka. There you go.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, who knows, man? He knows, man. But I'm excited to get the season off, and I'm excited to. I'm just ready for some basketball, man.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at the Lakers roster, and Westbrook, LeBron, and Anthony Davis take up 75% of the cap together.
Wow, that's
The
crazy.
next closest is THT, who takes up 5.8% of the cap. So I mean, one of those three guys or all three of those guys are going to have to restructure something, because right now their practical cap space, they're minus 51 million.
So in the NBA, it's better to be over the cap or under the cap, or when it comes to
It's better to be under the cap, yeah,
under the cap.
because that means you have some wiggle room. I mean, you have a sport like the MLB that's not a cap sport, so that's how all of these guys can
Like
sign.
10-year, $445 million deals.
You know, but you've got the NFL, which is a cap league, but they're more flexible with their cap than the NBA is.
Right. That's true, man. That's a very, very good. That's a very, very good like side of the story. But yeah, I'm excited to see where the NFL and like the NBA goes with like their seasons. I can't wait for both seasons to start. So before we like go, like I have a question. So I'm a Ravens fan, right? So how do I watch? Well, other than national televised games, is there a way I can watch like my Ravens like throughout the season? Like, I mean, I don't have direct TV though. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think Amazon Prime has a deal with the NFL. I don't know exactly, because I'm a Titans fan, and I'm in Alabama, so all the Titans games are on CBS for me. But yeah, as far as I know, Amazon has a deal with the NFL, and I think that would probably be your best bet.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our first two games are Raiders and Chiefs, so I mean they're going to be on ESPN, I think. But like other games are like they're out of market. I can't watch because they're on CBS in Maryland and like PA and stuff. So
Yeah, NFL Sunday Ticket or something like that is your best bet as far as like satellite goes and stuff. But yeah, I think Amazon Prime, maybe ESPN Plus. I don't know. I don't know
I think some of our games, most of our games, they're not on televised or on CBS. I think.
Yeah, because CBS has a deal with the AFC and Fox has a deal with the NFC.
Right, and we have a lot of primetime games. Like, so I'm gonna watch my Ravens, but like when games are not broadcast on televised, like national televised game, like I have to figure out a way to how to do that. But I think this concludes the show for tonight.
I want to do one more thing, and I want to see if we can knock it out really, really quick.
All right, one more time. All right, yes, sir.
So the MLB is kind of winding down.
Oh yeah.
And so we've done our picks for the NFL, and we don't have to go all the way through, every team, every
Yeah.
not
You ever see
really,
that for another episode, man? Like, well, the rest of what we don't cover.
yeah. But I'm fixing to pull up the standings right now.
I know my Yankees sweep the Red Sox today, so
Yeah.
yes, sir.
So who right now? And I'm fixing to pull this up so we can both look at it. There it is, pulled up.
Okay.
So as of right now, the Rays are leading the AL East. The White Sox are leading the AL Central, and the Astros are leading the AL West. Of those three teams, which team do you see at the end of this regular season not being at the top of their division?
Let me see. So you said the Rays, Chicago, and Houston, right?
Yeah.
I see Oakland catching up to the Houston.
Okay.
But they've been losing to Chicago White Sox for that last series.
Mm-hmm.
I see. I mean, I'm a Yankees fan, so I see Yankees overcoming the. It's gonna be close, but I see them in first place, Yankees. But right now, Tampa Bay's in first. The team I see at the kind of near the bottom of the standings at the end of the season, it's probably the Astros.
Okay. And the Athletics overtaking them.
Yeah, and then Cleveland. Oh, let's see. 50,
I think Cleveland,
they're gonna drop, man.
yeah, just with all this stuff coming out with the name change, they should have waited until the offseason to do all that name change stuff.
Right.
So for me, I think I agree with you. I see the A's kind of overtaking the Astros in the AL, and then we're going to scroll down just a
So, like, what do you
touch.
think about the Yankees, man? You think they're gonna overtop the Rays, or what do you think? Because
So-
they're like 19-5 after the All Star game or All Star week. They're on a roll, man.
So
And
right
they got some new
now,
players.
they're leading the wild card. So I see the Yankees making it, but I see them making it as a wild card team.
As a wild card, okay.
I don't think they're going to overtake the Rays. I think if anybody's going to overtake the Rays, it's going to be the Red Sox. So I see the
Red
Yankees
Sox, they've been losing to us, man. They've been losing.
Yeah.
They've been on a losing streak right now. But yeah, you're right. I feel like, I would take a wild card spot, man, because that's it's a 1 game series, right? The wild card series game.
Yeah.
We're the Bronx Bombers, man. I have faith in my team, man. But yeah, let's go to the. I was about to say the NFC. Let's go to the NL League. Okay, so we got the Braves, Philly.
So I see the Braves, and I've said this from game one. I see the Braves taking the NL East. and
Yeah, I see that.
They're 3
Yeah.
games ahead right now of the Phillies. And this has been a really interesting season for the NL East. I mean, all the top 3 teams right now have all held the first place spot multiple times this year. I don't see anybody unseating the Brewers in the Central. The Cubs.
Yeah.
The Cubs have just, they sold. I mean, they got rid of Rizzo, they got rid of Bryant, they got rid of a lot of pieces. They got rid of Peterson.
Bias.
Yeah. So I mean, I see the Brewers running away with the Central, and the West is what's interesting to me because right now, with the standings, 3 of the 5 teams are in the playoffs because you have the Giants winning the division right now, and then you have the Dodgers and the Padres as the wild card teams.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't see no one overtaking the Brewers. In Milwaukee. If LA can, let me see. I mean, it's gonna be a three-way race between the Giants, Dodgers, and Padres. Because Padres, I mean, they're on a losing streak right now. But
Well, it's because they lost Tatis for that little bit
oh
of time.
yeah, for that fast stretch, yeah.
So
Yeah, I definitely see.
and here's the crazy thing. You know, the Padres are second in the wild card. They're third in their division. They're 12 games back of the Giants in the division. I mean, that's how good they are. That's how good this division is, really.
Oh wow. Yeah, like I definitely see LA Dodgers. I mean they're 4 games back from first, or 3.5 games
Hmm.
from first in the division. So I feel like if they can like pull it out, I feel like they can be on top of that division.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be like it's gonna be a 2-way or even 3-way with San Diego.
Yeah, I think all three of those teams make it. But
I agree.
I think the Dodgers and the Padres are going to be the wild card teams. I don't see anybody. I mean, the Reds could overtake the Padres, but that's going to be a long shot.
I definitely agree. But yeah, I don't see like Philadelphia taking over Braves. I feel like Braves are gonna keep on winning and winning. Yeah, because Miami's trash, Washington's trash,
Yeah, I mean,
Mets are trash.
the Braves just swept Miami. So, and they've got a 6-game winning streak right now. I mean, if Freddie Freeman continues to play how he's playing, and I mean, just everybody. I mean, we just got Darno back, and he's been playing, you know, like he never quit, like he never got injured. And I mean, we've got so many players that can come off the bench. I see Atlanta winning this division. I don't see them losing the top spot from here. You know, they're in the top spot, 3 games ahead. I don't see them losing it.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at my schedule for the Yankees. We have the Twins coming up, a 4-game series with the Twins. We should win that. We should win that series. And guess who we play for a 2-game series?
You got the Braves.
Guess who we play for a 2-game series? Man?
You got the Braves. It's in Atlanta though, so that's kind of a toss up being in Atlanta.
And then we have the athletics after that. So it's gonna be interesting because those are some key series. So we got.
I think it would have benefited Atlanta to be in New York though, because Atlanta has a worse home record than they do a away record. So I mean, I think they love being on the road for some reason this year.
Yeah, we got the Twins, and then we got the Braves, and we got the Athletics, and we got the Angels, and the Orioles, and Blue Jays, and Mets, Orioles again, Indians, Rangers, Sox again, Blue Jays, and then we finish out the season in October with the Rays. So we got some tough series, man, coming up. Like some key matchups for sure.
Yeah.
We gotta win. I mean, we don't have to win out, but I feel like we gotta win a couple of those series to get over the Rays.
Oh yeah.
Because we're five games back from the Rays, and we got I already count 4 wins. I'm already counting a sweep against the Twins. Sweep against the Twins. I already see. I'm sorry to say, sweep against the Braves, man. Because I mean, we got Freeman though, but that gap with Acuna, man.
Well, and that's the thing. When Acuna went down, that's one reason that we got Peterson. And not only did we get Peterson, we got Adam Duvall, and we got Soler. So, I mean, those 3 guys, the last 10 games, and Riley has been on a hot streak, our third baseman. I mean, he's been on a hot streak. He's got 26 home runs this season. So, and Dansby Swanson he's been lights out. I mean, he's already broken the home run record for a shortstop in a Braves uniform. So, I mean, you've got the offense just tearing it up. But it's finding the right lineups. I think New York is at a disadvantage because it's in Atlanta, not because Atlanta's playing good at home, but because you lose the DH when you go to Atlanta. So I think that benefits Atlanta.
That's definitely I didn't think about that. They lose the DH because they're in the NL. They're playing NL like an NL team. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. So I guess we can say this for another podcast, but I was gonna leave you off with this one question: like, who do you see? Who's your World Series matchup?
So,
I mean, we can say that for another episode. You can think of your answer, or you can answer tonight, or you can think about it.
I see the Giants with Chris Bryant. As much as I hate to say it, as much as I hate to put another NL team over the Braves, but I'm just being realistic. I think the Giants for the NL. I think the whole Trevor Bauer situation with Los Angeles,
Oh yeah.
I think that's just kind of put them behind the 8 ball, and they're not the team they were last year. And then for the AL, I think it's going to be Giants White Sox. The White Sox have turned it around this year, and I mean, all the players that they have on their team, I think it's going to be Giants White Sox. And call me crazy, but Giants White Sox.
I think it'll be the Giants. I mean, I would say LA, but he had a good point with that Trevor Bauer situation.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate. Right in the middle of the season. I think it'll be Giants and Yankees, man. But I'm trying not to be biased here because I'm a Yankee fan. But we gotta get past that wild card. If we make it to the wild card, we have to get past the wild card game. And I feel like the Yankees are dangerous when it's just how many? So our regular playoff is best out of 7, right?
Excuse me. Well, when you get to the wild card game, it's one game.
It was one game, but like regular
think-
playoff format is that
I think it's 5-7-7.
5-7-7.
I think the first round is 5 games, and then the last 2 rounds are 7 games, unless they've changed it.
Gotcha. I mean, I feel like the MLB. This can be another topic for another podcast, but I feel like the MLB should copy the NBA with the whole playoff scheme. Like, have the top teams play, and then have like. Never mind. That's too difficult. Have like a playing tournament. But like, never mind. That's a bad idea. That's just too confusing because NBA they had a tournament. You can't really do a tournament in the MLB, a playing tournament, or maybe you could.
Well, and last year, because of COVID and everything, 16 teams made the playoffs. But this year, they bumped it back down to the regular 10 teams. So you're going to have the 3 division winners, and then you're going to have 2 wild card teams. So, yeah, it is 5-7-7.
Got you.
So, yeah, I don't know, and that's what makes the MLB exciting. I mean, you've got the NBA, which is 7 across the board. But another thing to look at is the AL won the All-Star game. So the AL has the advantage, home field advantage in the World Series.
Mhm.
So I mean that's something else to look at.
Very, very, very good points, Justin, man. See, that's why you're my co-host, man, because you bring up good points, man. But actually, but that will conclude tonight's episode. A long, really packed episode. We're both excited for the seasons, NBA and NFL. But again, we're going to share this podcast around, and I'm Jordan, Jean-Louis, and Justin Mason.
Yep.
And thank you for tuning in, man. And we'll see. I think we're doing a podcast Friday too. Or we can do on Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
All right, man. Sounds good, boss. All right. Well, actually, I did find another guest for Monday's show. He runs his own sports. Like he has his it's called Wire to Wire podcast show. So he wants to hop on for a show, and so we'll have 3 people on. Well, me, you as a co-host, and then him as a guest.
Okay.
So the Monday's gonna be another packed episode. So, all right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to the JoJo Sports Talk Show, and have a good night, y'all.
See ya.
Yes, sir.